The sun was sinking behind the jagged red rocks of Arizona territory when Elias Ward, a shy, soft-spoken farmer, trudged back toward his broken fence. His land was small, his crops thin, and his pockets always empty. Yet he carried a heart full of kindness, something the harsh frontier had never managed to steal from him. But that evening, something strange waited for him at the edge of his field. A tall Apache woman stood there, her long black hair braided with turquoise beads, her posture proud and unshaken by the wind. Her name was Nalin, known among her people for her fierce spirit and unmatched bravery. Elias froze, uncertain. Apache visits often meant warnings, or worse. But Nalin stepped forward calmly. "You are Elias Ward," she said in a smooth yet commanding voice. "I have watched you many times. You are poor, yet you are honest." Elias swallowed. "I try to be." She pointed toward the distant hills. "My tribe is moving soon. We prepare for a harsh winter. But my sister left behind a child, an orphan, a baby boy with no one to claim him." Elias' heart sank. "That's terrible. But why come to me?" Nalin walked closer, her eyes glowing like embers under the fading sunlight. "Because I've seen how you treat the land, the animals, and even the strangers who pass your road. You have a gentle spirit." She paused, then said the words that froze the wind itself. "I choose you to be the father." Elias nearly stumbled backward. "Me? Why?" "I'm nobody. A poor farmer with barely enough for myself." Nalin shook her head. "You have something greater than wealth. A child grows strong with love, not coins." She lifted a small Apache cradleboard from behind her. Inside, wrapped in soft deerskin, lay a baby boy with bright dark eyes. The child looked up at Elias and smiled. Elias felt something break open inside his chest. "But the settlers, the soldiers—" "They'll cause trouble," he whispered. "A white man raising an Apache baby?" Nalin's voice softened. "The world is changing, it must. And you are brave enough to do what others fear." For a long moment, only the desert wind answered. Finally, Elias knelt and held out his arms. "I don't know if I'm worthy," he said softly. "But if this child needs me, then I will protect him with my life." A faint smile touched Nalin's lips. "Then the spirits chose well." She placed the cradleboard gently into his arms. The baby cooed, gripping Elias' finger with surprising strength. Elias felt tears sting his eyes. Nalin stepped back. "Raise him proud. Raise him Apache. Let him know where he came from." Elias nodded. "I promise." She gave a final respectful nod, then turned and walked toward the mountains, her silhouette blending with the shadows of the land she belonged to. Elias stood alone on his dusty field, holding a new life that had been entrusted to him. He was still a poor farmer, but now he had a purpose greater than anything he had ever dreamed of. And as the stars lit up the sky, the little boy in his arms drifted to sleep, safe, loved, and already home. The Arizona sun had a way of draining strength from a man. By late afternoon, even the strongest cowboy moved like a tired mule. But Elias Ward, thin as a scarecrow and twice as quiet, kept pushing through the dusty rows of his struggling farm. His boots sank into dry soil as he repaired a fence post for the third time that week. Life had not been gentle with him. His wife had died of fever years ago, and the drought had burned away half his crops. Still, Elias refused to become as bitter as the land. He worked with the patience of a man who believed something good might still happen someday, that someday he thought might be years away. He was wrong. As he lifted the final plank of wood, he suddenly felt a presence, someone watching him. He turned slowly. A woman stood at the edge of his field, tall and motionless like a carved figure from stone. She wore Apache deerskin, clothing decorated with small turquoise beads that caught the dying sunlight. Her long braided hair swayed gently in the wind. Her posture was not threatening, but powerful, confident. Elias felt his heart thump unevenly. Apache people rarely approached white farms unless something important or dangerous was happening. He wiped his hands on his shirt and forced his voice to come out steady. "Evening, ma'am. Can I help you?" The woman didn't answer right away. Her eyes scanned him, not with suspicion, but with a strange, measuring calmness. "You are Elias Ward," she finally said. Elias nodded, unsure how she knew his name. "Yes, ma'am." "That's me." She stepped forward slowly, but her steps were sure and graceful, like someone who belonged to the land in a way Elias never would. "I am Nalin," she said, "from the Red Mesa Band." Elias swallowed. "I've never had trouble with your people. I hope none is coming now." Nalin shook her head. "I did not come for trouble." Then her voice softened, though her eyes remained sharp. "I came for a choice." Elias blinked, completely confused. "A choice?" Nalin nodded. "I have watched you. Many times." He felt heat rise in his face. "Watched me? Why?" The wind blew across the field, carrying the scent of dust and sagebrush between them. "You are poor," she said plainly, but without insult. "Yet you never curse the land. You never cheat the peddlers. You give water to travelers who have none." Elias shifted uncomfortably. Praise felt heavier than insult. "Well, I just tried to do what's right." Nalin's gaze deepened. "That is why I am here." Before Elias could ask anything more, she motioned with her arm. From behind her, hidden in the tall grass, she lifted something, no, someone. A cradle board. Wrapped inside, tight and warm in soft deerskin, was a tiny baby boy. His eyes opened slowly, dark and round as polished onyx, staring directly at Elias. Elias froze. I don't understand." Nalin stepped closer, close enough for Elias to smell the smoke of campfires and dessert herbs in her clothes. "This child has no father," she said quietly. "And the mother, my sister. She died last winter." Pain flickered in her voice, but she stood firm. "My people migrate soon. The winter will be brutal. The elders are old. Food is scarce. This child," she looked at the tiny boy with a warrior's tenderness, "will not survive the journey." She lifted her chin, meeting Elias's startled eyes. "That is why I came to you." Elias shook his head. "To me? Why me? I'm no one special. I don't even have enough for myself most days." Nalin took one step closer. "You have enough heart." Her words struck him harder than any bullet. Then with a voice steady as a heartbeat, she said, "I choose you to be the father." The world seemed to stop. No wind, no sound. Just the pounding of Elias' heart in his ears. He stared at the child, at Nalin, at the long stretch of lonely horizon behind her. "Me," he whispered. "Raise an Apache child? People around here would—" "Fear," Nalin interrupted, "rules too many men." She nodded toward him. "But I do not see fear in you. Only doubt. Doubt can be overcome." Elias's throat tightened. I don't know if I can do this." Nalin extended the cradleboard toward him. "Take him," she said softly. "Feel his weight. Then choose." Elias hesitated only for a heartbeat before. His hands reached out and touched the cradleboard. Warm, soft, fragile, the baby cooed and curled his small fingers around Elias's thumb. Something broke open inside him. Something he hadn't felt since his wife died. Purpose, love, a reason to wake up. A tremble went through him. "Nalin," he whispered, his voice cracking. "I don't know if I'm worthy. But I will try. I will protect him. I promise." For the first time, a small, grateful smile touched Nalin's lips. Then the spirits chose well. She stepped back, her shadow long against the red dirt. Elias watched her vanish toward the mountains, strong, silent, carrying the weight of her tribe on her shoulders. He looked down at the child in his arms. The boy looked up at him, eyes shining like a new dawn. Elias whispered, "Welcome home, little one." The chapter closed with the wind rising gently, as if the land itself approved of the choice.